Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, why a person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person, and what you can do to shape shift the energy. There's many different realities that play out at one time. So your core beliefs determine what your behaviorisms and habits are, and that is what determines your karma. So you're able to change the entire dynamic of the situation when you understand why, on a spiritual level, this person's coming into your life. And many times that doesn't mean that you get to be with the person, but what it does mean is you're able to cut that psychic cord where you're like, this person is still thinking about me. This person's energy is still around me, but they're not giving anything. They're just kind of like hanging on your energy, and you're like, find it hard to move forward. You find like you don't really understand because it's not like the person ever gave closure to it. And the reason why a lot of times is because that person is vibrating on a much lower vibrational consciousness. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to obviously be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, is the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Now, if you're interested in shadow coaching, well, you can fill out the link below because doors for enrollment are about to open up again and you will get notified. And you want to definitely get notified because I only take a limited few every time we do enrollment because everybody's coaching is specifically tailored to their individual needs. So, like I said, if this is something that interests you, also know that my shadow healing coaching doesn't just include inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma, but you learn psychic development, you learn what your gifts are, you have actually life coaching in between all these little classes on emotional intelligence and integrating the shadow and again, the many different layers of shadow healing because they're a lot. So we don't just do shadow healing the whole time because it would be very draining and very taxing. So we alternate between, like I said, psychic development, finding your soul's path, life coaching, and then obviously shadow healing. So then this way you are interactive in your life at the same time as you're doing coaching. And that's really when you need coaching. You need coaching while you're going through situations that are triggering because that's when we second guess ourselves. That's when we need to bring in the tools that are going to help us master our nervous system to help us stay more present. We're going to implement certain um, certain spiritual lessons and transmute the negative energy, understanding how you transmute the negative energy. And that's really important too, because when we go through experiences, you can learn and integrate the spiritual lesson. But unless you transmute that negative energy, that energy residue from that experience that has imprinted your consciousness, well, it's still kind of lingering. And until you recreate new experiences and embody a new consciousness, you're still going to be a magnet for those types of people and those types of situations to continually play out because you're holding on to the energy. So my shadow coaching program is really a diversified program. I created it because it was something that I would have needed to have back in the day. And so I wanted to offer something that was affordable and something that was diversified so that when you're actually done with the shadow healing, you are strong within yourself. You know where to focus your energy onto. You're not going to focus it on things that are going to be draining. You're going to focus it on things that are going to help grow you and having a clear direction of what you want to manifest is really important. A lot of times people just don't know. and they don't know because they get caught up in the everyday life. And that is attached to the logical, analytical mind. And we have to be balanced where we are not just always in our logical, analytical mind. We have to actually be able to tap into the higher self, the intuitive part of self, the God part of self, which is about unconditional love. This energy is our supernatural part of self. It transcends the limitations of our mind. So we have to be able to be balanced where we are logical and analytical, but we're also intuitive and spiritual so that we can integrate the spiritual lessons. So, like I said, the coaching program is very diversified. Doors are about to open up again for enrollment. So you definitely want to fill out the link with your email and have one of my team members contact you so you can see what's available to you. Like I said, they'll be able to tell you what exactly the course entails and how you can benefit. All right. Like I said, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me or have to be open to getting a shadow reading, have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in the comment bar. That will also be in the description box, along with all other important information. Website, if you're interested in booking a psychic reading, my website, if you want to, again, enter into winning a free reading with me, no matter how many times you won, you can always re-enter. You can, again, just follow the directions and you'll know if I chose you. If I wrote the word winner underneath your comment, then you just need to reach out to me through email and we'll figure out the best day and time that works for the both of us. And the day of your reading, you will get a link right to your inbox. So you never have to say, where's the link? All readings are done live. So if you want your reading private, you have to send me all your questions the day before. I never bring anyone's name, never say anyone's name. It usually is very private, even if people don't care. A lot of people don't care. They don't care whether it's private or not. I just don't say anyone's name. They'll know if you are in the inbox and you are corresponding back and forth asking me questions, then people are going to know. But people don't really care, to be honest with you. All right, the word is diluted. Diluted. That is the word that you're going to write in your comment bar. I feel like you're in connection with somebody that they remember you as how you used to be. And they never really took the time to get to know you either. So I feel like because this person saw you as someone that was on a much higher caliber than what you actually treated yourself in their mind, because they knew that they weren't giving you anything, that there was a sense that, that you were always going to hold on to them, that, they saw you as being someone on a higher caliber, but someone that didn't know your worth. So they knew because, like I said, you were giving them a lot more energy than they were deserving of. Now there's been a lot of time that's passed, and I feel like this person actually had a problem once you were like realized, hey, listen, you're not giving anything in return. You're like, it's a very one-sided relationship. And once you set a boundary, this person actually had a problem with it. And that's the problem. When you give somebody something that they don't have to work for, and then you turn around and you set boundaries and you make them work for it, they have a problem. When meanwhile, they didn't treat you with the respect that you deserved to begin with. You were like, I went into the connection and I treated you the way I wanted to be treated, but you violated that. So you're not getting the same version of me, but there's a sense that you feel like this person still thinks that they can manage to, like, they're still acting as if you're an option. So they're deluded. They're deluded. It's like there's a part of them that doesn't want to really see that they gave you no time, no attention. They acted like they didn't care. And really, at this point, you doubt quite highly whether or not you would give this person the time. And I think down deep inside, this person knows too, if they were to really think about it. But they don't want to think about it because they don't want to be guilty. It's just they're in a place of loneliness right now. So they're forced to look at how they treated you, and they see the blame and they also see that you're intolerant to it. So there's a sense that they don't know how to recover from this. So all they do is they're stuck in a karmic loop of keep thinking about you, how they treated you, and what they know that you were deserving of. And they know that they can't finagle this. They know that they can't lie. Normally, they would be able to come back and lie and say that this was a misunderstanding or that, that's not really what happened, make some really big like lie up so that you would believe them and make them actually make you feel bad for them. They can't do any of that. So they're stuck in a place of anger. And the reason why is because they're really stuck in a place of fear. Because there's only two energies, love and fear. And this person was in a place of, I don't want to do that. They were very arrogant when you met them. So I feel like they're stuck in a place of fear mainly because they know that they fucked up the connection because they were stubborn. And how you see it, it was betrayal and that it was very one-sided. Like they were narcissistic. So this is the underlining energy is that they're deluded because they know how they treated you. They don't really want to look at the severity. They're looking at how can I come back? How can I fix it? How can I lie, finagle? And they can't come up with anything. But there's still a part of them that's like, maybe I can wait for the right opportune moment. So I feel like this person wasted a lot of time. I feel like they play a lot of games. And instead of just coming clean, they didn't do that. Meanwhile, the whole time that you were dealing with them, they had extreme reckless behavior. They didn't think about anybody except for themselves. So I feel like they were taking very dangerous risks, not just with your reputation. I feel like this person runs around with a lot of different people. I feel like they have addictive behavior. So their reckless behavior is that I don't care about anyone except for myself, and I don't think about the consequences either. So this is the energy that you were dealing with. And anytime that you tried to talk to this person about it, they didn't really want to hear it. They acted as if, oh, don't tell me what to do, or you're overreacting, or you're too sensitive, always projecting. Because really what they wanted you to be is they wanted you to be submissive to them. They didn't want you to really to share your opinion. They wanted you to go along with whatever they gave to you. And again, very reckless behavior, like almost like it's either my way or the highway. If you don't want to agree to it, then don't. Because they were so cocky in the fact that you gave this person the time. It's like they know that they weren't worth the time. And then the whole time that you were with them, you're like, you didn't really want to be with me because you had someone on the back burner, someone on the side burner, you had someone in the inbox. You didn't give me enough time. So the whole time that you were with me, I would notice that you would turn the phone upside down. This was you, Scorpio. Like you notice if you went out to eat with this person, they would turn their phone upside down so that you wouldn't see who called. They would do things that were red flaggy, like it would just alerted you, like, why are you going to the bathroom and bringing your phone? Like, why the whole time you're with me, do I feel like you're looking around wherever we are? Why do I feel as if, like you're distracted? And you're distracted because you're giving your energy to a lot of multiple different people. It's like this person wanted to live in the facade that they were like some Don Juan or some like some I don't know if there's a woman for a woman name like a Fatale, right? They say like a woman that's that you're so captured by her beauty. It's like that you were gonna go along with them. This is the energy. It's like they acted as if they're so desirable. They're so important. And that's why they had to like give you this energy. So the whole time you're like, you're not giving me the time. You only care about yourself. This person was extremely indulgent. And the reason why is because they're really insecure. They're like, you don't need to get attention from one person. No, you're going to get attention from five people. And the reason why is because you don't really want to do anything for any of us. You want everybody to give you energy. You want everybody to make you feel desirable, but you didn't care about me. This is where you're like, Scorpio, you're like, I'm seeing things a lot clearly now. I feel like this person, there's still a part of them that holds on to the memory of who you used to be. They don't know who they're going to deal with. If they ever contact you again, there's a part of them that is like, you might go for it, you might not go for it. They're holding back because they don't know what your reaction's going to be. See, if they knew that they could lie or sweep this underneath the rug, then they would be back. But they know that they can't. Down deep inside, they know. Again, that you were like, you kept me out of your life. You didn't want me in your life. Now all of a sudden you want me in your life. But why do they all of a sudden want you in their life? Is what one of the questions that I'd like to ask. What's with the turnaround? It's like now that they dated all these other people and gave everybody else time. Now they're looking at you as if, you're the package, that you're desirable. And really it's because you didn't let this person in, and it's because they kept you out. They're the one. And you're like, you had a hard time of letting go of the past. So you bring your past and all your baggage into every single relationship. And in that, you don't bother to get close to anybody. But you're not looking at my past, what I've gone through within my life. Again, this person's reckless. All they care about is themselves. They can't see past their own nose. It's all about feeding their desires to the point that they're deluded. Do they feel guilty? Yeah, they feel guilty because they can't get out of it. It's like I'm looking around to see what lie I can tell. There's not a lie that they can tell because they know that you know. And the reason why is because they didn't care in the beginning. So there's a sense of, you wanted me to be powerless. Now you're the one that's powerless because unless you come back and you apologize and you give me exact reason of why you treated me this way, well, I'm not going to take you back. See, there's a part of this person that's like, if I could just get you into the bedroom, if I could just like they're trying to pull out all the stops that they would pull on all the other people that they've screwed over in their past. Difference is that you're on a much higher caliber than what they're used to. Most people don't stand their ground. You standing your ground is keeping this person powerless, and they don't like it. They don't like your boundaries. They don't like feeling powerless. They don't like the fact that they still don't have VIP, they don't have the red carpet treatment by you anymore. That's not what happened. It's like you're still holding on to past people, whether or not that's a karmic from a long time ago, because God knows you're not giving this person anybody. This is you, Scorpio. You're like, it's not that I'm afraid that you're giving someone more than me, because if you're giving 10 people, you're not giving any of us anything. But you deliberately make sure that I know that you can give because I see you display feelings and affection for a person that you dated. But understand that during the time that they were dating this person, they didn't give that person shit. So it's almost like a gaslight is what they're doing to that past person. Because the whole time, like I said, they didn't really want to be with that person. They had a bunch of different people that they were talking to. So now, instead of allowing that past person to let go and move on with their life, now they're going to show attention and time and act as if they care to keep that person stuck. But really what they want to do is they want to manipulate you and whoever else is waiting there. Well, I'm giving my time to somebody else right now. And when that person gets annoyed, when they see that I'm really not going to give anything, well, then I'll just move on to somebody else. And maybe eventually you'll get your turn, Scorpio. This is this person's like attitude. And you're like, I don't have time for this, whatever this is that you're doing. Yeah, they're like, all you do is every time that I hold you accountable, you withdraw because you don't have any intention of changing. It's a game. And it's a game where you try to get people emotionally connected to you. And the moment that you feel them disconnected from you, well, then you have a problem. Then you want to run back in and act like you care and not really give anything. So this is what makes them deluded. They feel like what they do, like there's no consequences. Like everything's going to go back to it being brand new, the connection brand new, like what it was when you first met this person, before you had any preconceived notions about them. But what they've done is they've created major trust issues. They devalued you. Now, of course, they see that you're having a good life. It's again, this problem has a problem with anyone moving forward, and it doesn't look like just you. It looks like any of their options. This person acts like they have a lot of options, and what I see is they don't really have any real good options. But it's again, they're able to live that self-fulfilling prophecy. They want to live that narrative. I'm desirable. And if they make you perceive that there's a lot of other people, well, then maybe you're going to work harder to be in their life. But this is not how they came into the connection. You know, if they came into this connection like this, you wouldn't have given them the time of day. Yeah, they're impulsive, so they're not trustworthy. It's like they can go out any day and pick up somebody, flirt with somebody, act like they're single. This person is moved by their addictions. They're moved by their impulsiveness. It's like a person that has a lot of negative energy, a lot of shadows. They have trauma. Understand they're not going to be as present. Because a person that's present is a person that feels whole. A person that feels whole doesn't have shadows. They don't have spiritual blocks. Now, everybody has some spiritual blocks, but not to the point that it affects their identity, where they have to run around with multiple people and live this one-sided energy so that the narrative looks like that they're so desirable, that they're so needed, that they're so wanted, that's who they want to portray. But meanwhile, like I said, they're living by their addictions. Because a person that doesn't feel good, that has shadows, that doesn't know who they are, there's a lot of mind chatter. Every little thing is going to be a trigger for this person. Because when we don't know who we are, and then we're trying to deal with relationships, and we're trying to navigate and strategize to the point that this person's deluded, it's like you're not even, whatever reality that you're seeing, it's not really what's playing out. The reality that this person is living in their mind is the one that's made up, that they created, because that puts them in the best light. So it's very tiresome to continue to wear a mask. When a person has a root chakra imbalance, that endocrine gland that's associated with that root chakra is the adrenals. When a person is not in their body, but they're up in their head strategizing and they're living a double life, to the point that their whole crown chakra is blocked, to the point that they see everything diluted, and they have reckless behavior, and they have reckless behavior because they're impulsive. They don't think. What they allow is they let their emotions drive the bus, and your emotions change from second to second. It's like even in the scriptures, it says, don't listen to the heart. It says, listen to the gut, listen to the higher self, because the heart wants what it wants and is not always honest. So again, this person does what they feel like doing when they want to do it, and they don't think about the consequences. But then when the consequences actually happen, well, now they can run to multiple different people to get their needs met, where again, they don't plan on giving anything. And it's because they come from a place of lack. If a person comes from a place of lack, not just because they don't have any money. That will be a manifestation, though. If a person really doesn't feel good about themselves, really doesn't know who they are, I feel like this person doesn't have a problem making money. I feel as if what happens is that they don't have a good sense of self. So what happens is that any money they usually are able to obtain, they lose it because they're impulsive. And they're impulsive like, well, today I feel like going out and buying a boat because I want to be perceived as this person. And then they spend their money on a boat. Or tomorrow I want to get drunk all day. Why? Because I just feel like I don't feel like going to work. I don't feel like being responsible. So they live by their addictions. They live by their impulsiveness, which is all about creating an energy shift inside of them because again they have a root chakra imbalance, and those root chakra imbalance makes you feel lethargic and tired because when our root chakra is actually overactive because we're like living in survival mode, it's taking a lot of energy. Now you're not seeing it, but internally what's happening to this person, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of emotion, and it doesn't feel good. Now, the emotions need to be looked at and integrated where we see that this person needs shadow healing. What we see is that they haven't done any. They're reckless because they just keep bringing in the same baggage that isn't healed from the previous relationship. So that baggage gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what it does is it implants the self-fulfilling prophecy, which is I don't really believe that relationships work out. So I need to be safe where I'm not going to care about anyone else's feelings. I'm only going to care about my feelings. So I'm going to date a bunch of people, then I'm going to pretend that I'm really interested in all of them and breadcrumb. With you, you are a higher caliber. This person didn't think that you knew what your own worth was. And possibly you didn't until this person realized, like, until you realize that this person really, they weren't giving you anything. The lack of time, the lack of energy, the lack of resources, this person gave nothing. But I believe that they did that to try to get a reaction out of you. It didn't work. It didn't work. This person wanted to have like, pays too much attention to the physical. Really, you want to know why this connection lasted this long. It's because you didn't give them your body. This person normally is able to create the facade and get right on in, get what they want, which is all about the passion, here for a good time, not a long time, and not anything. But you didn't give this person anything. You're like, you didn't give me anything. So, I am not the same person who I used to be. I know exactly what you chose to do with your time and your energy. So, of course, you don't have a way to fix that. Problem is that I feel like this person still has a connection to you because they're attracted to you. And I think that this person a lot of times confuses that passion for love where you're like, well, I feel detached from being with you because you create a lot of trauma for me because I can't trust you because you're impulsive. It doesn't matter if we're in a connection. It depends on what your mood is. So you're not trustworthy. So then I have to focus more about what you're going to do. Then I can be balanced and connected to my own self. So this is the realization that you had from being in separation from this person. Like this person giving you this much time, you were really able to look at them and look at their behavior from a detached perception, where I feel like you did do healing because you have to say, well, what type of connection is this? That why would a person come into my life, pretend that they have such strong feelings for me, but meanwhile they're talking to multiple people. They don't really have feelings for anybody. If you say, I'm not a selfish person, I care about other people. Why would I attract a person so selfish? Is another question. And this person can't deal with criticism. Everything that they hear is again through the distorted perceptions because they have a lot of wounds from relationships that they've caused. So that's the thing why this person's really deluded. They're deluded because they want to act like a narcissist, but they only are living by their impulsiveness. So they don't think about what they do. They don't have a consciousness. So they don't have a problem like betraying you and acting reckless with their own life. but then they don't really want to hear it from you. So again, the criticism. So they stay away from you, they withdraw from you. And then they don't just withdraw from you, then they talk to past people. Why? Because it's again, I want to make you move. You seeing that I'm keeping you out, it makes you feel powerless. But understand their insecurity, they're hoping to make you feel insecure. What you saw is you're always distracted. You're not really giving me. You're doing that to make me submissive. I see you only want the physical connection, and it's just not enough for me. There's a lack. And I'm tired of being around someone that's stubborn. I'm not asking you for anything. And what I'm asking for, instead of you understanding, you get angry. You get angry. You feel like you shouldn't have to. You get angry over the guilt. You get angry over the fact that now you doubt quite highly that I'm going to give you the time, but then you won't listen to it. Where really it's all about the fact that you wanted to act like you didn't give a shit, hoping that I was going to be obsessive over you. No, now you're obsessive over me because you've given the connection a lot of time and separation. So I haven't just been looking at everything. This is you, Scorpio. Now it's not just me that's looking at the entire situation and seeing it, all the things that I didn't want to see, which maybe I was a little deluded from, again, thinking that you were going to rise up. But now I'm actually seeing how deluded you are. And I'm seeing how unfair. And I just really don't have tolerance for this. So this person stays away from you because they don't want to, the blame. They fear that you're going to blame them for the way that things are. Because again, they're the reasons why the relationship looks the way that it does. And they don't know how to repair it. They didn't leave, they took it too far. They have no way out. They have no way to like redeem themselves. So they want you to come to them. They're trying to manipulate you to get you to come back to them, to talk to them, so that they wouldn't have to take ownership of how they treated you, that they wouldn't have to look at the way that they treated you. And that's really what it is. It's like, and but what they see is that so much time and energy has gone by that they destroyed the trust within this connection. So this is why stuck in this place of limbo right now. They're like, I don't know what to do because any chance that this connection would have had to repair itself, it can't. It can't. So we have to go deeper and say, well, we know that that's not what their plan was, but now that in separation that they've been thinking about everything, what else do they think? What else do they think? I feel the sexual energy between us, yet it's beyond physical attraction. It needs to be elevated to the expression of deep unconditional love. So this connection had the potential to be a soulmate twin flame connection. But this person's not elevated. Their focus is more on the passion, is more on the physical connection, and not on anything else. So they actually see that it had the potential to do that. This person does think that you're beautiful inside and out, and they see the light that radiates your soul. I almost feel like they think that you're too good for them. That was part of it, that was part of it, like they didn't want to draw feelings for you, but you're different. And so they do because you can't help who you fall in love with. However, this person says a long time ago, I shut down those parts of me that wanted love, romance, and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. So instead of them actually being happy, they get triggered by it because there's a desire to want it, but they don't really believe that they can have it. That's number one. Number two, they don't really know whether or not they're capable of doing their part. They know that they're impulsive. They know that they're selfish. They're comfortable that way. As I said, they just should shut down those aspects of themselves a long time ago. They learned how to, have their cake and eat it too. So they actually didn't have a conscience. Problem is that this person actually has a conscience. So they didn't think they were going to have feelings for you. Now they have feelings for you. See, if they would have known that they would have had feelings for you, they wouldn't have taken this to the extreme. But they ruined and demolished the connection to the point that they're even deluded to even think that they can come back and repair this. But there's a part of them that still holds on to it, where now you're seeing them in a completely different light, and you're like, well, whatever you do, you would have to do quadruple the amount. And even then, I probably won't trust you. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head and it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me, and I don't like that. Again, this person feels very uncomfortable by the soul connection. They feel very uncomfortable by it. And the reason why is because they're not whole within themselves. They have a lot of baggage and blocks from past relationships. So they project a lot of shit. They strategize a lot. So they want to be able to lie. They want to be able to tell you what they want to tell you, depending on what they feel in that moment. And that's the problem. It's like you're too smart for that. They want a casual type of connection where they talk to a bunch of people and they get fed from a lot of different sources, so they don't have to build that strong, intimate connection. But the problem is that they see your worth. So their way was, I'm trying to get you to lower your standards. I'm trying to get you to give in to me. That's why they keep trying to manipulate you to have you come back to them so they don't have to address any of their shitty behavior. But the issue is the more time that goes by, the more that this person is like, knows that you're not coming back. They know that they have to release attachments to certain karmic people. They don't end any relationship. They keep every time the relationships are really going to end. What does this person do? They come back in and they make everything nice, so then it keeps the people's hopes up high. So you have a lot of people that are still connected to this person that think that maybe they're going to come around. Your person thought you were going to be one of those people. You're not one of those people. This person knows that they're going to be with you. They have to make a choice. They have to make a choice. This situation is being caused really from them. They need to take a look and see the role that they play in order to change it. There's a part of this person that's like, no, this it's happening because of the both of us. It's not happening because of the both. This person will project in order to not have to actually take full responsibility, which is why I feel like you're delusional. I'm not ever gonna be with you because you're deluded. You only care about yourself. You live really from your addictions. You really live like your life is just the result of all your impulse behavior. And then somebody's got to come in and fix that eventually. Meanwhile, you haven't let go of all the other people that are still connected to you. So you're still getting your ego fed. So you're like, I am not interested in this. And what we see here is that this person, though they would like to have it, it's like they know that they would need that they're the problem, that they would need to raise their energy to the energy of unconditional love. They know that they're coming at a low vibrational energy. They know that. They know that they need to release people and situations that are like draining them of the energy to the point that they're not giving you anything. They know it. It's the issue is that we don't see them doing anything. I've hurt you, and I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday and know that I was reacting out of fear. So this person knows that they've hurt you too, and they don't really like that because they don't want to really look like the bad guy either. This person surrounds themselves with people that are going to blow their ego up. And what you're doing is you're saying, no, this is how you treated me. And I'm not just going to look the other way on how you treated me. And there's, especially for a person that doesn't really want to change. You don't want to change. You don't want to do anything to change. But you want me to lower my standards because you still have feelings that you weren't expecting to have. So that's really what spirit is saying. It's like in a nutshell. They have a victim mentality. It's again, they're tunnel visioned. It's all about them. It's again, they don't, it's also because of their Because of their trauma, they resist the clarity of the actual relationship and their part in why the connection looks the way that it does. And but again, there's a sense of if we could just hook up. Like there's a part of this person that's like, if we could just hook up, or if I could get you to like help me again, come in like a little bit handicapped, like I'm gonna come in and act sorry, and maybe like we could just hook up. Like again, they're deluded. Everything that this person does is just to feed their own impulsiveness. It's like whatever they want at that time, whatever their mood is. If they're horny, they want to like hook up. If they need money, well, whatever they need, they look at people as that things that are going to fulfill their need. And that's the main problem. And especially since this person comes from a place of lack. They come from a place of lack. So they're never going to let go of any of those karmic people because those people clean up their mess. Those people help them avoid having to look at themselves. So here it is. Here's a real connection with you and them that they had. It could have been a twin flame connection, but they choose to stay in a lower energy. They would have to do the work. So they're a little resentful that they're stuck in this energy of, well, I'm the one that's still holding on. You're not holding on. You're not going to. This is why they're like, maybe I can strategize to come back in, but they know that they can't. They also know that they would have to change their entire life in order to be with you. So it keeps them stuck in being paralyzed. It's like, I want it, but I don't want it on your terms. It's like they know what you want. You want somebody that's going to be like a soulmate. You want someone that it's going to be a committed relationship, like a partner. They know that. It's like that scares them. And really, at this time, the situation is in a state of flux. Anything could happen because it's like this person's impulsive. So it's not saying whether they're going to come back or not. They're arguing with themselves. If they can figure out a way to come back on a lower vibration, they will. However, what they see is that you're nobody's dummy. You're not going to put up with that. You want either the commitment where it's really an equal give and take partnership, equal give and take reciprocity. This person wouldn't be able to be so narrow-minded, but because they are somebody that like has shut down their heart a really long time ago, um, and that they're always coming from this low vibration and still don't want to let go of certain people. So they're also influenced by people around them. um, there's a sense of like they're not that it's again, I don't want to give up all my power. So, like I said, this is what I see. It's like I want it, but I don't, only if I can have it my way. However, because they're so impulsive, which I know that you saw that card before, they're so impulsive that anything can happen. It depends on their mood, but don't trust it, because this person can wake up tomorrow and be hysterical crying and be like, I want to be back with you. I'm so sorry. But they haven't done any healing. And it's not that they don't have feelings, it's just they're deluded how they think, what they think is okay. And they live in the falsehood of their delusions. And they like it there. They don't want to really do what they need to change. If they could have their cake and eat it too, they would do it. So we have to say, why would you attract a person like this into your life? I'm looking for my inner child cards. Um, because this is a connection. It's almost like, okay, so the person came into my life, pretended that they wanted a relationship, never really wanted a relationship, had a bunch of people on the back burner that they don't really want to be in a relationship with those people either. They just want their ego fed. They're very impulsive. They live by their lower energies and anything that's going to fill them because they can't fill themselves. right? When I'm talking about fill ourselves, that we fill our own cup up with experiences and people and the passions of life. So we don't really need anything emotionally outside of ourselves to feel whole. This is what this person sees with you, that you don't need anybody. That bothers them. They have no control over that. There's a sense that they don't like it and they kept trying to knock you off what they perceived as you were being on a high horse, and you weren't being on a high horse. Is that you're not deluded. You don't undervalue yourself. This person's used of being able to trick and manipulate to get what they want. And the problem is that now they actually have feelings. So now instead of them being happy and surrender, they're actually mad about it and trying to figure out like how to get over. And that's why I said be careful because they're impulsive. So they can come back tomorrow and say, hey, I'm so in love with you. I want to be with you, but they haven't done any healing. And what we know is that this person changes their mind and their mood the way that you change your underwear, your socks. Like it's like they get bored fast. It depends on their mood, and they're someone that's not balanced. And a person that's not balanced, even though they're suppressing their emotions, it's their emotions that are running the show. And if you're in a desert, because emotionally you're not getting fed from anywhere because you're not doing it yourself, you need to rely on outside people and manipulate people to give you that. Well, then that's what it's all about. It becomes a game. And this is what you saw. Cleansing, part number 1. Sing, part number 2. Isolated, 3. Loner, 4. Anchor, 5. And crafts and creativity, 6. So believe it or not, it's like I feel like you did. First of all, I do feel like you had shadows from the way that you were brought up. Why? Because the anchor, we see father and child here. They even look alike, right? So same haircut, same bone structure, everything the same. The only thing that's different is that there's no beard. So it's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree is what I get from this. And the lack of anchor is support, that there wasn't support. We know that because every time you had to figure things out on your own, you went through a difficult time, you did it by yourself. You were a loner. You're a loner, but you also had to go into isolation. So these cards are almost the same. So anytime there was a special occasion, anytime you had to put your energy into something, you did it alone. There was absolutely no support. So there was talent, there was hobbies that you didn't put your time and your energy into. So they were underdeveloped. So underdeveloped talents that we have, well, we obviously think that they're not a talent because they're underdeveloped. And so you would say, well, that doesn't work, that's not there. So you had a lot of imbalances from growing up in an environment where there was no support. That's what I see here, that there was no support, that there was no emotional support, that there was no encouragement, that there was no, you were just kind of like there. If you went to school and you got good grades, you were like it was ignored. But if you joined something that was after school, it wasn't like you got supported by it. Meaning a parent wasn't going to pick you up from softball or from a play or whatever it is that you did outside because they were working. You weren't going to get any encouragement because again, parent was too caught up in their own life, their own situations. So a lot of times when we grow up in an environment like that, we tend to give people a lot more energy than they deserve because you didn't learn how to give yourself that emotional fulfillment. So I feel like, again, this person, when they first met you, they saw who you were. They saw the type of person that you are, meaning that you are someone on high caliber. What they thought was that you didn't know. And in a way, you possibly didn't because you had to have given this person a lot more time. Like again, you might have looked at that person a little bit for support, but not support like I need you to take care of me, but emotionally supported. And so it brought you back to that childhood energy where you're like, okay, well, you claim to be with me, but you're talking to like a bunch of different people. You say that you say one thing, but what you do is completely different because I'm going through all my experiences by myself. If I have a problem, I have to do it, take care of it by myself in isolation. So what you did was you cleansed your energy of this person and you cleansed them of this person in order to actually help you cleanse that childhood wound of realizing that even though you didn't have support to create, that the universe also supports you. So when you put your time and your energy into yourself, it grew again what your own creativity. So whether that was project that you were doing for work, whether it was like a hobby, whatever it was something that was going to fill you emotionally. And Spirit says yes, and that is how you integrated the spiritual lesson and found your voice. You found your voice because you're like, listen, I'm not just going to go along with this. It's not fulfilling me. So even though this person didn't like what you have to say, and we know that they don't, it didn't stop you from saying it. You had your voice, you put your energy into yourself, and what you saw is you cleansed the perception that you don't need to like deal with things by yourself in isolation. You don't need to be a loner. That you yourself, by putting your energy into your own creativity, and that could be again anything from job to talent to anything that's like that is irrelevant from your job, but anything that's going to fulfill you emotionally is your anchor. Because then the universe brings you people, situations, and experiences that are going to help uplift you, to help grow you, to change you. And I feel like because this person gave you so much time, that is what the scissor was that actually cut that psychic cord, because you're like, you're not giving me anything. And what I see is even if you came back, you're so impulsive, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean what you say because you're not a trustworthy person. You're delusional. You're deluded the way that you see things. It's all about, being shady and thinking that you're getting away with it, thinking that you're so desirable when you're not. You get breadcrumbing everyone, you're playing with people's emotions, all for the betterment of what you perceive for yourself. And really, what happened is that you got to see this person in their clear light, and what it did for you was brought you back to that childhood situation. Said, I'm not going to go to an empty well and expect water. My parent did the best that they could do with what they had. The support that they gave me was the best that they could do. They were fighting their own battles. They were going through their own experiences. Did they give me a roof over my head? Did they give me food? Did they love me the best way that they know how? Yes. Did I like it all the time? No. But I'm not going to walk around and hold on to that and still look for that love and support outside of me. What happened is you gave it to yourself. And that's what Spirit said was the whole point of this connection. That's why this person's pissed, because you don't care. And your energy is completely different, that they don't really know who they're dealing with. That's why they're like, yeah, you might be able to come back, but you might not. They don't know who you are. But the problem is they never did. So we leave off with one last, and it's all about unconditional love, the universe says. And when we're talking about unconditional love, we're talking about the unconditional love you have for yourself. It's again, why? Because when you give yourself that unconditional love, you become a magnet for more energy like that. So this is my heart is free from resentment towards others, meaning whatever happened in the past with your parent, there's no resentfulness. They did the best that they could do. There's no resentfulness with this person because that's the level of consciousness that they have to work with. They're not healed. I open my eyes of my heart and discover the light and beauty in every being. I am aware that suffering can cause distress and hurt in people. I see the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. So Spirit says this was to help. This relationship was to help you see things from a different perception, because you got similar energy to the energy that you were brought up with, and that you realize that everybody's doing the best that they can do, that nothing's really personal. Even though this person did what they did, it doesn't mean, oh, go back with them. It didn't mean that they're conscious of it. They're unconscious because they're not healed. So you know that they can't give you what you're deserving of. However, you still forgive them because that's the level of consciousness that they're working with. And by not forgiving them, blocks you off from actually having more people, situations, and experiences that feed you, that grow you, that are abundant coming into your life. So you don't want that. So you have to forgive and release. And so a lot of times, if we had a hard time forgiving our parents because of their situation, and we may say, oh, well, I forgive them, I understand. But Spirit says, I don't really feel like you do. So I'm going to make you embody that energy, what it felt like. So for all you know, your parent could have been in a relationship where it was very one-sided. And so it made them so up in their head they couldn't give you what you needed. But the whole point is it didn't break you. Nothing can break you. It's that's drawing attention to where you need to reparent yourself so you can view yourself differently. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.